My boy Snoop Dogg recently made waves when he commented on former President Donald Trump by saying he has, quote, nothing but love for the former president. Snoop told the Sunday Times, Donald Trump, question mark, he ain't done nothing wrong to me. He has only done great things for me. He pardoned Michael Harris. I have nothing but love and respect for Donald Trump. Keep in mind, before I'll go into my position on this, that the one and only Snoop Dogg himself had previously been vocal in his disapproval of Trump's presidency, because in 2020, on Real 92.3's Big Boys Neighborhood, he said, quote, I ain't never voted a day in my life, but this year I think I'm gonna get out and vote. I can't stand to see this punk in office one more year. So the change comes because Donald Trump basically pardoned his boy Michael Harris. Fair enough. Let me say a couple of things. Number one, everybody knows Snoop Dogg is my brother. I love him to death. I do not like to hear anybody black talking about how they never voted. One of the greatest conduits of change in this nation, and one would say arguably throughout any democratic society, to affect change, one of the greatest components is making sure that you vote. If you don't vote, you don't have a right to make noise about certain things. I understand it can be disconcerting. I understand how your vote can seem meaningless at times because you vote for somebody and you see stuff getting manipulated. You see politicians acting up. You see people being as dishonest as they can possibly be and whatever they can do to get away with it because they want to cater to a constituency. You see all of these things, but in the end, that's just giving up in the fight, whatever your fight may be. In a democratic society, you vote. So I'm never going to co-sign on that. Having said all of that, I'm not going to condemn my boy Snoop Dogg either for his position on Donald Trump because he explained why that is. We may not like it, but when people do things that affect us directly and personally, usually it'll sway us to some degree. In this nation, when you talk about politics, in this nation, when you talk about affecting change and what have you, we're usually monolithic in our thinking. Our one issue is what matters to us. If you're pro-choice or you're pro-life, that usually influences the direction in which you will vote. If you focus on the economy, that's your thing. If immigration reform is your thing, if worrying about the borders is your thing, that's what you usually vote on. We are like that in America. So in the case of Snoop Dogg, that's his boy, Michael Harris, and Trump getting his boy out of prison, who was in jail for over 20 years, for attempted murder of a police officer, if I remember correctly, that matters to Snoop. In a completely different way, you want to hear somebody support Donald Trump? Listen to Dana White of the UFC. What does he say all the time? Trump was there for me at the beginning. When nobody wanted to touch the UFC, he embraced us. He let us use his facilities, his properties to promote our events. When big things happened for me, he was one of the first to congratulate me. I'm quoting Dana White from the past, who, by the way, I spoke to today about those very things he said about Trump to see if he indeed had changed his mind. He said, oh, no, I'm very, very consistent. I support him because I've known him personally for decades, and I know what kind of man he is. I don't like some of the things he says sometimes or anything like that. I wish he would do certain things differently. That is true. But the man that Donald Trump is, Dana White says he's going to support him. You have people that are married to their specific issues. In this case, Snoop Dogg is one of those people. And I can't knock him. He felt the way that he felt about Trump years ago, but Trump let his boy out and he changed his mind. Would that be me? No. But Snoop, Dana White, and various others have the right to feel the way they want to and to care about what they want to care about. That's the way it goes.